Guys, what surprises are in store for this year? We're going to share them with you. Stay tuned. Well. Interesting start to the year. Oops.
We've got the camera.
We've got a bit of a dodgy camera set up tonight. Bear with us, guys. We might just have to hold that. God. I think we might just have to hold it in place.
It was working well off the air.
Nothing, this is Mark with his cable ties. never going to start or end well. That's for sure.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. We're off to a great start, that's for sure. We're not going to talk about COVID too much, that's for sure. Are we, Mark?
We'll do a little bit. It's life.
Yeah, it is. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what surprises we think, guys, are in store for 2022. And we're not talking about Novak-related stuff. We're looking well and truly into our crystal ball. Mark, what do you reckon?
Fixed interest rates or variable interest rates for 2022. Now, this is not financial advice, but it's something we get asked all the time. What are we personally doing ourselves with fixed or variable? I'm a variable man, variable lady.
Yeah.
And we think 2022 with rates has been a lot of people fixed last year because they were a bit scared. So I think the government, the banks are fairly happy with that position. So 2022, I'm a variable man. I reckon fixed may go up a little bit more, but I think variable stay the same.
So these are, guys, what we're talking about, surprises that we think are in store for 2022. We're looking into our crystal ball and we're giving you what we think the predictions are, and I reckon we're going to be pretty accurate. It'd be interesting to go back and actually rewatch this series.
Like a time capsule.
Yes, absolutely. I called it, I reckon about 4 to 6 weeks ago, Mark. I said there's going to be a mini spike in the property market.
Yep.
So, guys, for those of you that do or don't follow the trends of the property market, we saw that the market started to level out about 2 months ago now, I'd say. So it was a really, really climbing market. It was a furious market right across the country. And then it started leveling out about 8 weeks ago. I predicted in the first part of January that there was going to be a mini spike in the property market, and we're certainly seeing that right now, actually. It's been an unusual start to the year with property, hasn't it?
And, guys, you've got to remember your real estate agents are at the coalface. They know what's happening faster and more accurately than anyone else in the marketplace. They're seeing the real people, the real numbers, the real comments. So before the media gets a hold of it, it can be a month later or 2 weeks later. We're telling you right now what's happening.
And it's changing weekly, guys, so we are on the ground seeing what's going on, certainly in our area on the northern beaches, but these trends happen right across most of Sydney, much of New South Wales, actually, in the country, but there's been a mini spike. So ordinarily at this time of the year, because I've been getting a lot of vendors contacting me that were thinking of coming to market in around February, March, Mark.
Yep.
And a lot of them have said, hey, what's going on? It's been very unusual. This first week of January, we have been swamped with buyers.
Yeah. Inquiries
off the charts.
Attendees, bananas. It's probably bigger than any week during the last year.
So, guys, just to give you an idea, Wednesday we did our first round of open homes for the year. Yes, we worked all the way through. And we got swamped with buyers coming through those open homes. Usually we'd see on average groups of 3 to 5. We were seeing groups of on average 12, which is huge. And it was pouring with rain, Mark, on the northern beaches of Sydney.
That's on a Wednesday. We had 20 groups through. That's probably the highest number I've seen for the entire year for a Wednesday on any one property.
So another surprise. That honestly took us by surprise. I took a call today from a vendor and he said, Lisa, tell me honestly, when should I be coming to market? And I said, as soon as you can. So I've just signed him up. We're going to be bringing these guys to market shortly. Hello, if you guys are watching. Hey, Lee and Sarah. These guys do follow socials and they've been tracking a lot of the stuff that we've been reporting this week. So there you go. That well and truly took us by surprise, a roaring property market yet again.
Next surprise?
Next surprise is rental increases.
You copied my one.
Well, I don't know. We did the list together.
What do you reckon about rents?
Rental increases, yes, we're going to continue to see a really strong rental market as buyers are more and more priced out of this market.
It's hard to borrow money at the moment. I think with a lot of the constraints APRA have put into place over the years, particularly lately. So people are saying, you know what, it's just too hard to lend the money. Let's just rent what we want, what we love.
Yep. So lots and lots of people out there are renting a lot of the high-end stuff. Some friends of ours have just moved back from overseas, from the US. They arrived yesterday.
Tim and Dave.
And so happy to have them back. Great friends of ours, been away for 7 years, never thought we'd see the day that they were going to return to Australia. And for multiple reasons, but mostly COVID-driven, they've come back here where they've got great healthcare. We have great healthcare.
Dave's got great legs.
He's got great legs, that's for sure.
He's known as legs. Dave legs.
He is. But, great education, just ticking so many boxes. And these guys were looking for a really nice house to rent, and it was near impossible for them. Wasn't it, Mark? It's crazy. They just kept missing out. So many people looking to rent.
We could see as much as a 10% spike in rents this year, in our opinion.
Our crystal ball prediction. What have we got, Mark? What else have you got there on your list?
The question on everyone's lips.
Yes.
House prices.
Yeah. Again, I think, so we're talking about just house prices or property prices in general?
Both.
We're segregating?
I'm more passionate in 2022 for unit price growth rather than house price growth. I was talking to a client today, like suburbs around us, Narrowena, Freshwater, Manly, Dee Why, Collaroy, Narrabeen. Houses in those suburbs have done as much as 200 to 210%. That's a $500,000 property has gone up all the way to $2 million.
Yeah.
Now, units have not done that. Units have done about 120 to 130% over 10 years. So there's this big no man's land, and there's this big gap between units and houses at the moment. I don't believe house prices are going to fall to close that gap. I believe unit prices will go up to close that gap.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. And of course, it always works on supply and demand. So guys, if we have a look at what is going on the northern beaches of Sydney, which is where we list and sell property, stock levels are so low at the moment.
330.
What is unusual, and that's not, what's not unusual at this time of year is that stock levels are usually low, right? Because people don't list property around that Christmas, New Year period. But what is unusual?
Lowest in 10 years.
That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. But what's not low is the level of buyers, which is what we were mentioning before. So, guys, if you are watching this, if you are a seller, just apply common sense. If you don't believe us, track the data. Go on to realestate.com, go on to Domain. That'll give you some sort of a snapshot as to what's going on out there, how many listings are on there. It's always a good barometer. Although so much stock is getting transacted away from those portals, but it's that level of buyer inquiry. So Michael, part of my team, was away over that Christmas, New Year period, and I was working all the way through, Mark, and I was taking all of our inquiries that were coming through, getting absolutely smashed. And I remember thinking to myself on the 24th of December, tomorrow's Christmas, it should be a bit quieter. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a rest. And those inquiries were still coming through thick and fast, which is extremely unusual. So if you are a seller and you're sitting on the sidelines watching this, wondering whether or not to sell your property, guys, get on the market now, all right? Because we will see an influx of stock coming in toward the end of Jan. I just want to say a Happy New Year to Nikki. Lovely, lovely girl. Nikki, it's funny that you should pop up now, because I was watching a video when you came to me at one of my open homes and brought me a box of goodies. Happy New Year, lovely. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, it's a new year, everyone.
It is. Ray Price, good evening. How are you, legend? Hope you're well.
Beautiful.
Hope you're well. Hope everyone's off to a great start. It's been a tricky start to the year.
You know what gets me?
Yeah.
Every time I think I'll work out COVID, I get screwed. COVID 1, shocked.
I reckon if you've worked it out, you've cracked the Da Vinci Code, Mark.
It's just so different every time. Shock or
Yeah.
suss things out. We're ready for COVID 2. COVID 2 different again. Get screwed again. And then just before we work it out, now this COVID 3 comes out of nowhere. I call them massive. Like, I know there's been spikes, other spikes, and all the beaches had a spike in these areas. But I'm like, yeah. So is there going to be a fourth surprise in store for us in 2022?
It's inevitable. I mean, look, I think, this is something that we all just need to live with. I guess the good news is the next variant, and I really don't want to spend the next 10 minutes talking about COVID. I think everyone's bored to death of it. But the next variant, this variant that we're all currently going through at the moment, this Omni, seems to be a little bit less severe, or quite a lot less severe. Yeah. Maybe it's just weaning itself out. There's no doubt it can be extremely depressing at times. The best way that we've been managing it, or I've been managing it, is just take it a day at a time. Don't watch the news. Try not to watch the news too much. Yep.
Next surprise for 2022.
Yes, over to you. You've got my list.
We talked about rents up.
We did. Yeah.
Wages up.
Wages. Oh my goodness me, staff.
And you know what? Everyone has talked about, property prices going up, wages now haven't gone up in 20 years, and I've heard that my whole career. I think there's some good wages being thrown around at the moment.
Yes, there are. So it's no surprise that
2022.
There's a massive shortage of staff around. Yeah. And so it's inevitable that those wages are going to be going up. Hospitality, goodness me, my heart goes out to anyone that's in hospitality. But, to try and get staff to work in hospitality at the moment, we know we've got tons of friends. Yeah. In hospitality is an absolute nightmare. So I think that's certainly inevitable, Mark.
Big time. Another surprise for 2022?
Yes.
International markets coming to Australia.
Absolutely. It's happening.
Our friends Kim and Dave?
Yep. It's happening. Now, they were never coming back, guys. For those of you that missed that a moment ago, some of our best friends have just returned back to the country, living in Chicago. They were never coming back.
Never.
And they just decided over the last few weeks, forget this, we're heading back, because crime rates are up so much in America as a result of a lot of the COVID situation that, amongst many other factors, but that certainly drove them back here.
So 2022, international markets coming back, people who have considered, were here, have been here, always wanted to come here, they are coming in droves.
They are.
They are coming with proceeds from their sales from overseas. They are seeking safety. They are seeking a good medical system. They are seeking a good education for their kids.
Yeah.
They are seeking strong employment, good economy. It's all around a winner. So I think that is going to help our property market in rentals, in sales, all round.
Yeah. What's it going to do to different sectors of the market? So is it going to only drive that prestige market? What are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, I think immigrants are also there's key workers that are in there, and a lot of our government's policies to bring people in that are in specific that offer specific labour.
Yep.
Fruit pickers. We have a big wave of Nepalese in the last 5 or 10 years.
Uber drivers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
There's polished, unpolished diamonds. There's all types of diamonds coming from overseas.
I think it's going to push all the sectors.
With money, they want to rent, they want to buy.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Agreed.
They want to work.
I agree with that. Yes.
They want to add to our community.
So the return of the international buyer. The return. Well, yeah, it is definitely. But I would suggest it's crazy. It's unbelievable.
We lost 1 million immigrants through COVID. 1 million people working here, jumped in a plane, and were sent home.
And guys, not only that, as shit as COVID is at the moment, excuse my French, but that's probably the best word I can find for it. The reality is that Australia's still faring really, really well. We've got friends, again, that are overseas at the moment. And with all that's going on here with COVID, I'm not getting into politics. I am not getting into politics. Let's make that clear. We are still faring quite well. Yeah, I think we'll address that toward the end. Let's address that toward the end. What else we got there? I like that, Dr. Lisa. Yes, thank you, Ray. I like that. I'm going to use that moving forward.
Dr. Real Estate.
I like that.
Novak team. One thing people may have not realised, and come to realise over the last year or two, we've actually honed our blade and built the most educated agents in the marketplace. Like when you are employing a Novak staff member to execute a sale or rental for you, these guys are so dedicated and so educated and smart at what they do in the business. They are the best in the business. Fact. So we've spent years in our business developing these guys. We finally got the secret herbs and spices, and it's an incredible team that we've got together and packed for you for 2022. An absolute incredible team.
Not only that, what a lot of people don't know in the last week is that we have been juggling a lot of stuff with COVID, as many people have.
Yep.
But as a business, we employ 50 staff. There was a stage on Friday. I think we had 4 staff in total in the office, because they were either down with COVID or close contacts.
Real scary.
But on the outside, you guys wouldn't have noticed anything different. So, we're such a high technology business, and we're so used to having to deal with, devices and WhatsApps and technology that it was just like you almost just flipped hands, didn't you? Yeah. You almost just flipped hands.
Yeah.
So more of that to come this year, that's for sure.
And come closer to you.
Yes. In terms of what Novak has in store, what little surprises have we got in store, Mark?
I don't know.
There's a surprise. There's a surprise. I think
just pick up a cable tie.
Probably because I'm going to whip him because he didn't.
I didn't perform. On cue. On cue.
So, in terms of what surprises we've got in store, look, it's going to be for me personally. I want to be 2xing what I'm currently doing. So it's a matter of working out what that system and what that team looks like that surrounds that. So lots more training. Yes. That's just a personal. It's a personal goal. Yeah, it's a personal goal. So, and what that looks like. So lots of training around there, lots more video content, something a little bit different, a little bit more upbeat. So stay tuned for that. And just more of the same, but working out what that looks like, Mark, to be able to double up on that. 2 new assistants starting as well in a few weeks' time. So there'll be 3 assistants in total as part of my team. I'm excited.
Mini ones.
Yeah, they are. 2 blonde ones. 3 blonde ones, actually. Billy's blonde too. Yeah, definitely.
Other surprises before we wind out for 2022. I've got to be frank with you, brutal with everyone. There's been 5% of the sector has been absolutely attacked, mauled by COVID. 95% of the sector has done okay. What I think has been interesting is what everyone sought and has been seeking is a better life, is for themselves. And I think that 2022, that's really going to mature. I think we started seeing people make big, significant moves in 2020. I think in 2021 that started coming to fruition. You started seeing, they made the move of their house, the upgrade, the downgrade, bigger mortgage, smaller mortgage, the boat, we're not going overseas, we're spying, we're going to go fishing, we're going to go camping, whatever they're going to do. And I think 2022 is really going to see that really come into succinct full swing with everyone. So I think it's a big dream year for people where their dreams are really going to come through within reality of, I understand there's been some tough restrictions about people, but the 95% of people out there, I think it's going to be a really beautiful year. Now, what's very interesting, I find, is if you were told you had to stay home and you weren't allowed to leave your home, you'd have the shits. If it was your choice that you wanted to do that, you'd call that a staycation and you'd bloody love it. So I think we've actually, without realising, we've actually done a lot of stuff that we'd like, even though we were told we had to do it, we still liked it.
Interesting.
Bit of a quarantine.
Can we finish off, Mark? I do want to just talk for a moment about
me being treated like a dog.
No. Okay, now you actually need to emphasise on what that means, Mark.
I know.
That's not what I was going to be talking about. But while you're, go on.
I know how our dog Moe feels when he's locked outside and can't come in. and has to watch.
Mike had COVID, and that's fair. Like, we had to isolate you. We didn't keep him outside. But he was allowed to come outside away from everyone else.
So when you're on the couch watching television and you look outside, your dogs are like looking outside, like looking at you watching television. That was me through COVID.
Yeah.
Getting COVID. I wasn't allowed to come inside, so I was outside on the balcony watching my family, watching television. And I know how
we treated him well, though. Like, we did actually pass food out to him. It was
on
fine.
the floor, like a dog.
It wasn't on the floor, live.
At the door threshold.
You do not look like a person, Mark, that has been mistreated or malnourished.
2022 surprise.
Okay, can we finish off by just talking about, I did put a post up onto my social media, and I do want to address that. It was extremely
controversial.
No. Let me answer this, please, because I put a post up genuinely interested in what people's opinions were on Novak Djokovic. Now, I did not give an opinion, all right, and that was not the context of the post. So I put up a post, for those of you guys that don't know, onto my social media. It was a quote by Novak Djokovic's dad, not by me, and I just said, keen to hear what your thoughts are, guys. Now, the posts have gone absolutely ballistic. The comments have been just unbelievable. And obviously, people are very passionate about it. And
people are angry that we have the same name as him.
And there was one. Well, But the reality was, I was genuinely interested to understand what people's thoughts were. And some people were saying, why are you using this platform to even ask the opinion? I'm like, hang on a sec. Last time I checked, they were actually my social media channels. So, yeah, absolutely. And so there was no other reason except I was genuinely interested to hear what people thought. Now, I have a very unbiased opinion, and I don't, I don't actually choose to comment either way. In fact, I've always been, for anyone that knows me, and a couple of my friends were on there and clients were saying, look, Lisa's always very neutral, very Switzerland. I am. I'm always keen to hear people's understandings and people's comments on this sort of stuff. And that was honestly the main context of me putting it up there, irrelevant to what some people think. There was actually not a huge amount of thought behind it, but it was very interesting anyway to read some of those comments. Very people. Interesting. Wow.
Fire. Yeah.
People do feel
fire in their belly over Novak Djokovic. Loving him or hating him, they had fire in their belly.
And you know what, Mark? I put it down to this. There are some people on there that are just, there's a lot of fury in some of those comments. No, I don't think that. I actually don't. I don't think that. No, Mark. I think it's been a really, really shit 3 years for a lot of people, and people are just cooked. They're at the end of their tether, and it doesn't take much to tick people off. People are looking for outlets all over the place, and if that happens to be the outlet, well, you know what, guys? For people that were writing some pretty full-on comments on there, I hope that helped you with getting some of your fury out. I really do. But at the end of the day, it was, interesting to read all of those comments. There you go.
I was really upset, man.
Yeah. I think that's a show.
It's really accepting of people.
What's that?
Just letting them get angry and just saying that's okay. I hope
that's all right. That's fine. That's okay. I don't mind.
I'm married.
Yeah. That can be a show. That can be a content for another show.
And before we go, one more thing.
Yes.
Imagine a world where every COVID conversation was deleted and all of that energy and conversation went into doing something constructive.
There's been a lot of COVID conversation.
I get on the phone with clients, and I reckon half the conversation is just a good old-fashioned COVID rub.
Yeah.
And
look, where's the outlet for people, Mark?
People just want to talk about it. I think, my God, if you spent that time and spent that energy having a chat about something constructive, saving the world, I don't know.
My mum called me this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I was in my car for about 43 minutes. And Mum literally spoke for 42 minutes about COVID. She did.
Just
love her.
That's a show.
That's it. That's a show.
That's a cracker.
Yeah. Guys, take care. Remember, just a day at a time with the whole COVID situation. Don't watch too much of the news. I tune in first thing in the morning and then I tune out for the rest of the day.
No news for me.
No, I am your news, Mark. I have to advise you on everything.
Novak Djokovic updates in the last week, put it that way.
Yeah, that's all right. All good. And by the way, guys, just on that, Mark, I don't want people misinterpreting that. I don't have an opinion on this. I don't. No, I don't. See you guys. Have a great night. Happy New Year, everyone. Stay happy, stay healthy. Love you.
Go Novak Djokovic. I hope you win.
See ya.